Welcome back. In this video, we will show how the papacy changed God's law. We will also reveal what God's mark and seal is in relationship to the mark of the beast. So let's continue our study into this transgression against God's law and God's character. Notice what Jesus says in Matthew 5:18 about the law of God, the Ten Commandments. Matthew 5:18 states, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." The papacy attacked God's law, and here is what the Roman Catholic Church did to God's law, his 10 Commandments. The Catholic papal system removed the second commandment from the Catholic Catechism, the one referring to worshiping idols, causing the Sabbath fourth commandment to move up in placement of the third commandment. They then divided the 10th commandment into 2 commandments to make up for the removal of the second commandment. They did this in order to reflect the correct number of commandments for the 10 Commandments. They also changed the day of worship from Sabbath, Saturday to Sunday observance. So, if the Catholic Church claims their mark of authority is Sunday and your worship on this day shows that you are giving the Catholic Church authority in your life, then what is God's mark of authority? Good question. Let's take a look at what the mark or seal of God is. We get a hint from Exodus 31:13, Ezekiel 20 verse 12, and Ezekiel 20 verse 20, and they read as follows. Exodus 31:13 states, "Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you." Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 12 reads, "Moreover also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them." Ezekiel 20 verse 20 reads, "And hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, that ye may know that I am the Lord your God." Let's see what Strong's Hebrew and Greek dictionary says about the word sign. Is a flag, it's evidence, it's a mark, a distinguishing mark. A seal is defined as to close up, to seal, to make it in, mark, to seal up. Now God doesn't just tell us that his Sabbath is a sign or seal between him and his creation. He also places his personal seal in a very interesting spot, in his 10 Commandments, specifically in the 4th commandment of his law. Just as a president, king, or diplomat of a nation has a seal, so does God. An official seal has 3 elements: a person's name, their title or office, and the territory over which they have ruled. So, for an example, the seal of the President of the United States looks like this. Name, Joe Biden. Title or office, President. Area or territory of rule, the United States of America. Now let's look at God's seal, which can be found in the middle of his law, the 10 Commandments. God's seal is found in the 4th commandment, which relates to the Sabbath, and very interestingly, this commandment starts with the word remember. I will mark in red his name and title, and will mark in blue God's territory. Exodus 20 verse 8 onward reads, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor, and do thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the 7th day and hallowed it." Did you see God's seal? The seal of God looks like this. Name, the Lord thy God. Title or office, the Lord made, or our Creator. Area or territory of rule, heaven and earth and sea and all that in them is. God's mark and sign of authority is our observance and worship of him on his declared holy day of worship, which is the Sabbath or Saturday. True worship of God is not the papal substituted day of rest, Sunday. Sunday is the Catholic Church mark of authority, not God's. Exodus 31:16 reads, "Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant." Webster's New World Dictionary defines perpetual as enduring forever or indefinitely, a long time, permanent, without interruption, unceasing. In Ezekiel 32:17, it reads, "It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed." God, the creator of the universe, put his mark and seal in the heart of his 10 commandments to show that he, God alone, wrote them and not man. The Sabbath, which is God's mark of authority, shows he has authority over mankind and the universe. Remember what the papacy said? It was the Catholic Church which has transferred this rest to Sunday in remembrance of the resurrection of the Lord. Therefore, the observance of Sunday by the Protestants is an homage they pay, in spite of themselves, to the authority of the Catholic Church. They go on to say, of course the Catholic Church claims that the change Saturday Sabbath to Sunday was her act, and the act is a mark of her ecclesiastical authority in religious things. Most Christians do not realize that they are not keeping all of God's commandments because they are not worshiping on the Sabbath day which God has commanded us to keep. Remember, the 4th commandment starts with the word remember, but we've forgotten and chosen to follow the substituted day of worship, Sunday. We've changed our allegiance and are unknowingly breaking the law of God. The Sabbath is not just for the Jews. The Sabbath was instituted and hallowed on the 7th day of creation by God himself. Remember, Jesus himself worshiped on the Sabbath, as did his apostles after the death of Jesus. It wasn't until Constantine the Great made the change in 321 AD that the Christian church started worshiping on Sunday. Well, for now, we will stop here and continue on with our understanding of the law of God in our next video, and we'll uncover what the symbol 666 means and represents. So until then, stay the course